All right, let's go ahead and use our TI graphing calculator in order to figure out our confidence interval. And this should be a lot easier than the many steps that are involved in doing this more by hand. So we are back to our favorite button in our stats class, the stat button. So go ahead and hit stat. And now we are going to be doing some tests. Even though confidence intervals aren't technically tests in the sense of hypothesis testing, which we'll be doing later, it's still a sort of a test. So we arrow over to tests, and then we have this big list here. Now, we figured out for this problem that because we have the population standard deviation, we are going to be finding a confidence interval using the Z, the normal Z distribution. And if you look down your list of options, number 7 is a Z interval. That is a confidence interval using a normal distribution, which is what we use when we are finding a confidence interval for a population mean where the population standard deviation is known. So go ahead down to that. Now, if we had entered data into our lists, then we would use the data that is flashing here for you. That's not what we're doing. For this problem, we were given our summary statistics. We were given mean, standard deviation, all that good stuff. So we are going to go ahead and arrow over to stats and hit enter to say we are using the stats given. We are not finding those little pieces from the data. So once you hit enter on stats, you can arrow down. Now we have the population standard deviation given in our problem. And remember, a population standard deviation is that sigma. Kind of looks like an O with a crazy toupee. So we were told that the population standard deviation is 12. So you can enter or arrow down from that. We were told that the sample mean, because that's all we have is the sample mean. We are trying to figure out about what the population mean is. So we use our sample mean, 37.1, and enter or arrow down. Now we go to our sample size, and we are told in the problem that we have 150 subjects in this study. And now we go down to that confidence level, which we are given usually with a percent, so we need to turn that into a decimal. A 95% confidence interval is a 0.95 confidence level. Always double check that. Our calculator either defaults to 0.95 or uses the one from the problem before. I'm not really sure. I know that if you start completely fresh, it defaults to a 0.95. All right, so enter, enter, and bam, that quickly, there is our confidence interval. As always, if you have any questions about how to do this stuff, let me know.